here at West Rock Ridge State Park, Hamden and Woodbridge, Connecticut. And nice little section here. This is the Regicides Trail, which was named after the 3 judges that hid farther back the trail in what's known as the Judges' Cave, where they hid after basically sealing the fate of Charles I in England, and came and fled here and hid in the cave to stay safe from loyalists. And 3 of the main roads in New Haven are named after them: Whaley, Dixwell, and blanking on the third one. But anyway, so regicide means king killer, so that's what this trail is named after. It's about a 7.5 mile ridge walk. I can't do an Uber this time because of coronavirus, so but I've only got about 4.5 of it left, and then I gotta loop back, so we'll see how much of it I get done. I might not do the whole thing today. Just taking a day off from work to hike and get some health. Oh, look at that. Look at these 2 guys. Alright, I better walk. It really is such a cool little section of trail. I'm gonna just watch my feet here. Look at that. It's pretty cool. I love these trap rock ridge walks along these ridges up the center of Connecticut. New England Trail is just like that too. Not too far from here to the east, maybe 20 miles. In this area. But I can't go out and do any volunteer work on the AT, and I can't do any field work with my New York County Parks job either. It's all desktop computer stuff, only allowed at the moment. So, you know, I went from being outside all the time to barely at all, and definitely feeling it. All right, you get the gist here. I'm going to focus on my feet. Here's a nice little spot. And there's the road. If you like rocks, you're going to like this trail. It goes along the ledges a little bit, but not as bad as some places on the NET. I actually wanted to sit over there and hang my legs over back at that spot. Pretend I was on McAfee Knob or something. Figure I take you along with me for a little bit. Alright, it's a fun little scramble here. A little wet with a little bit of a drop. So let's stop for a second. Well, it tipped over because I didn't have it on a tripod, but I managed to make it to the outlook before the phone tipped over. Those guys like Ivy Tot and Quicksand and all those folks who make the AT videos really shows you how much time goes into all those little cool passing shots, but I should have brought my little stand, clearly. So that might be the one passing shot of the video. We'll see. I'm just geeking out a little bit because, you know, a little bored. I work about 20 hours a week right now. Work in the mornings usually. So, yeah, I can get out and do this stuff in the afternoon or change my hours around right now since there's not a lot of field work to get out more often. You know, a day here and there for a backpacking overnight, or, you know, we'll see. It'll get busy once we're able to start doing all of our events again, and assuming I have a Ridge Runner season still, if the AT reopens, so that'll probably be June now. So I imagine it'll get pretty busy, as will the trail and parks once things open, although people have been using them and really encourage leave no trace, pack it in, pack it out, practice safe social distancing, follow the rules, so they don't have to close the parks, which we really need for space, open space and fresh air and healthy activity. I know for me, mentally, if I didn't have my hiking, I would be much grumpier person. And usually I know when it's time to go hiking, if you know what I mean. So, you know, we all need that. We're all being confined right now to our homes most of the time. So, you know, when we do get out, we just have to be safe and smart so that we still have these resources available to us. Parking lots are harder to do that, but, you know, keep your 6 feet, keep your mask on. All the stuff that you've already heard before. But I sure hope I get to have a season in both of my jobs, my year-round one and my summer one. I really miss backpacking. We had a couple of really nice weekends at the end of March. Would have been perfect. And just couldn't plan it fast enough. Did go out for day hikes both of those days. Really wish it was a few overnights, but you know what? Trail's not going anywhere. Okay, who's this guy? Normally I'd pack that out, as I was just saying to do, but I don't have gloves, and I don't want to get potentially, you know, so should have brought my gloves. Well, honestly, I don't know if I would take that right now anyway. It's so complicated, all of this. But that's why I'm out here, to process this and some other things. This kind of reminds me of doing the trail in Georgia. I mean, obviously it's not as steep, but the way it's just kind of cut out of the side of the hill like this. Although my day pack is much lighter. I think when I measured, I was at about 25 pounds. Fully loaded with my pack in Georgia. Maybe 28 when I had like 4 days of food and full up on water. But there was a lot of water. It rained a lot, as you saw if you watched it. So I went source to source mostly. Didn't have to carry tons of water. So that was good. Resupplied every few days, so didn't need to carry lots of food, so that was good. I miss it. I feel so much for all my friends out there who were starting their through hike when I was down there, starting my section hike with them. You know, they've gotten off, and I know everyone's pretty devastated by it. I mean, honestly, if they open things up by June, I bet a bunch of people are going to flip-flop and just do a Sobo, because that's when the Sobos usually start. I bet the Sobo route's going to be much more crowded these days this year. Okay, this is purple. I need to stop and look at map. I think I'm going to go farther. Alright, I do love the Laurel tunnels. Obviously they're not in bloom. I have the buff, so when I'm passing other hikers or I'm in the lot, I can cover up. Seems pretty snug to me. I've heard feedback that they're not powerful enough to protect, but I mean, it's pretty, when I have it down, it's pretty tight around my mouth and nose. Welcome to hear your, happy to hear your feedback. Welcome to chime in. Alright. I'm not going to film it forever, but I mean, I don't want a 2-minute video. That's kind of cool. This is that trap rock. Although it's more flaky over on the NET on Higbee and stuff. It's much more crumbly. I am not a geologist, but I'm pretty sure that that is basalt, volcanic rock. Again, I welcome any input, as I am not. I repeat, I am not a geologist. Do tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I was thinking of going all the way to the end of this trail. It's like 5 miles or 4.8 from the ridge where I got to the top of the ridge again to the junction of the Quinnipiac Trail, but that's a little bit farther, so you kind of have to turn around and go back 0.7 to get to the nearest road again, unless I want to take a feeder down to another trail, which I won't do. I don't even know if Uber's running, but I won't do. That's too close quarters. That's what I've been doing for my shuttle, my sections around here, where we don't have shuttle drivers. So I kind of got to go up and then take one of the lower trails. I could take this one back, but all the rocks are really going to slow me down. I'm kind of taking my time on this, and then was planning on cruising down the lower pathway, because that's pretty much just a biking and running and walking trail. So I don't know, I might save the last quarter of this trail for another loop. I can do that some afternoon next week after work. Just cruise up and do the last 1.5 trail with like 1.5 connector and check off another Connecticut 800. But I've also got about 4.5 miles left at this point before my all trails hits the 1,300 mile mark. That's a trail that goes down to the other side of this ridge and crosses here. I'm guessing this is the road up here in some kind of road crossing infrastructure. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I have this trail mostly to myself. I passed a dad with his kids at the beginning down by the lake, but oh yeah, so there's a parking area up here for car people to get the view. pretty. So pretty. I was worried that there was going to be tons of blowdowns. The last couple of days we've had winds that were like 40 mile an hour gusts all night. People's basketball hoops were falling over. Sadly, there's a weeping willow up my street that's like half gone. Poor thing has probably been attacked by invasive species, bugs, things like that, beetles. So, you know, probably is why it fell down so much. I hate to see that. Love trees. All right, gonna put the phone away while I navigate that. So, man, I thought I was back in Pennsylvania for a minute. Oh, speaking of which, in other slightly exciting news, speaking of my 1,300 miles since 2013, I also started hiking. Well, actually, before I really started doing the AT stuff again, I started on the Connecticut 800 Blue Blaze trails, which is now more like 825. There's over 800 miles of Blue Blaze trails in Connecticut. That does not include the 53 of the AT, which used to be Blue Blaze and now is White Blaze, obviously. But anyway, so in the process of these 1,300 miles since 2013, this will put me over the Connecticut 200. So they have milestones. I finished them out of Bassett, as you know, from my videos and blog and stuff at the beginning of the year. So I sent in that data, and they sent me the patch, which is awesome. I still have to find a place for that. And then, where am I going with this? Right. So I'm just about at the 200. This will put me over the 200. So at different milestones, you get like different little swag, water bottles, hats, shirts. I think all 800 you get a vest, like I have for my New York County Parks job, a nice fleece vest. Man, I love this thing. So anyway, I'm gonna send in that form as well when I get home, and that'll be another little milestone, something I can say I accomplished in quarantine, or during the pandemic here. Oh, this is pretty. Look at this little ravine. So, and then what else do I want to do? Well, I'm going to come back and finish this trail next week. And then I need to start working on filling in the other like 7 or 8 miles of the Monunketuck Trail, which I need to do. I was so annoyed because one of those hikes, there was a 4-mile section or a 5-mile section, and we did it as an out and back. But we only went 4 miles in to make it 8. So there's a mile I got to drive an hour and 15 minutes up to do that mile. I'm just kind of like a completist like that. And then there is an 8-mile section that goes down to Long Island Sound. A lot of that after the what's it called? Timberlands Preserve. Then you go into towns. I forget if it's Madison or Guilford or whatever, down to the water. So there's a lot of town walking. That was not very hard. And then I'm going to start the Metacomet. Actually, I did one bit of the Metacomet. I did part of, not Rattlesnake, what's the other mountain there? I'm blanking on that one. Maybe it's the legs are using all the oxygen that the brain wants. Anyway, and I did another little section with my older brother last fall with Reacher Summit, or was it the winter? And so anyway, I'll finish the whole Connecticut section of the NET. I did finish the Mohawk in January, which was awesome with Brian because it was like 60 degrees over the weekend. Man, that was one of the hardest sections I've ever done. Barrack Mountain is no joke. I even did an impression as if it was Barack Obama. Adam? Good job, Adam. That was a hard mountain, and you did it. I'm proud of you. Well, that's not as good as how my son does it. He's pretty good at that. Anyway, this reminds me a little bit of Harriman, this bit, where I almost went today. I was looking around at a lot of the hikes there. I really kind of want to try the Torn, but that is some straight up rock scrambling. And that's the kind of stuff I'm still working on a little bit, and I definitely don't want to do it without someone spotting me. It's because it's hand over hand stuff, and on parts of it. Same with Breakneck Ridge, Lehigh Gap, PA. These are the things that consume a lot of my thoughts. It's those rock scrambles. Here we go. This is more of that basalt stuff. Nice power line cut here. I mean, if you can call it nice. Yeah, and actually this trail, the New England Trail as well, they've all, the New England Trail, especially in Mount Tom, like Mount Higbee, Besseck, that was really helping me with my cliff walking. It helped me significantly so that when I got to Georgia, I was much less concerned over that stuff. But anyway, I was looking at a bunch of Harriman hikes. Some of them looked really cool. I was looking at one here in Connecticut called Whitestone Cliffs, not too far from here. But it was only a 1.3 mile loop. And while I'm not sure if I'm doing a 8 or 9 today here, or a 5 or 6, 1.3 was definitely not gonna help me process much. And that's, like I said, part of the reason why I'm out here is got a lot of things in my head right now. Work stuff, family stuff, pandemic stuff, all the things that tie together between those. Last year I had multiple personal tragedies. It was bad. I was so excited for 2020, and man, well, I got a new job, which is great, but the rest of it has really not gone according to plan. And there's a couple things I'm dealing with right now that are not that pleasant. So yeah, I'm just excited to get out and do a walk. And this is, it's hard to pick. There's so much hiking to do. Harriman's not really much farther than New Haven from where I live. So there's a lot of great options within an hour for some good hiking. So it's kind of hard to pick. And I was trying last night and asking friends for recommendations, which is where I got Harriman, and hadn't hiked there since 2015 or 16. So I really did. I was planning to do that one. I was also looking at Steep Rock in Washington Depot. But then I remembered that I've done 2 loop sections on this one, and I still haven't finished the whole damn ridge. So I am out here trying to, if not knock out the whole thing, then at least get it down to one last little bite I can take next week. Alright, I should probably not use so much battery, and I'll wait till there's like a new feature for you to see, because as beautiful as this is, it's pretty consistently the same type of terrain. And I'm also using my phone to track, so I don't want to use up all the battery videoing. But actually, here's some nice little baby, what are these, pines, spruce? I'll get out my I'm gonna get out my Seek iNaturalist app and see exactly which type of evergreen. But this is gorgeous, so I'll leave you with this one for now. There's one other little feature here that I didn't know was coming up, so I thought it'd be neat to show this little old building foundation. I mean, if that was a cabin, that's a view, but it's kind of small to be a cabin. Let's see what this thing is. I'll go off the trail here for a second. Oh, nothing like broken glass everywhere. Okay, maybe it was just a privy. Yeah, I don't know. There's some kind of, the road is right there, so it might have been just some kind of road maintenance building. All right, I'll catch you up the trail. All right, look at this nice little pine. I love this. This would be a nice spot for a hammock right there between those two trees. Oh yeah, I would hang my hammock there, except that it would cross the trail. It wouldn't be very considerate, so I wouldn't. But it's tempting. This spot too, although you roll the wrong way, be a long roll. Anyway, I've decided I'm gonna hop off the ridge here at the next cross path back down the hill, because I've still got another 3 miles back. So if I go all the way to the end and then come back, we're looking at a 9.5 or something. And I've got my kids coming over for a barbecue later when they're done with their classes, and about a 45-minute drive. And I imagine, okay, this is my turn here. You know, and this will be nice. This way I still have some ridge walks when I finish. All right, let me check the maps on this bit. All right, following the yellow blazes, but not yellow blazing. That's the term for when thru hikers say that they're thru hiking, but they take a lot of shortcuts, skip lots of sections by road, the yellow lines, so they're yellow blazing. But we're gonna go down the ridge line here. It's not too bad, it's maybe 300 feet, and it's pretty gradual. And then I think it's just a walking path back, so, but even so, it's probably 2.5 miles, so walking on a path like that, I could probably do it in 45 minutes. Oh, there's some people coming. All right, let me find my trail here. Just swallowed a gnat. My first insect I swallowed of the season. Sorry, Mr. Gnat. In case you're wondering, my setup, there's my buff. I use this thing for everything anyway, as you could tell. So just passed a couple people, and some had masks on, some didn't. but plenty of space to stay distant. So we just kind of stayed maybe even 10 feet away in the trail. Oh, trout lily. Trout lily. Just in case it got all twisted around. There's the trout lily. The yellow trout lily on the yellow trail. You can see all of them around here. Yeah, lots of them. I think they come in another color. I know a guy. I'll check. Of course, my favorite trail flower is pink lady slipper. All right, so anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I'll come back, and then the rest of it, the end of the trail is maybe only 2 more miles of the Regicides Trail. But with the connectors, it's 3.5 to 4, which is a nice little hike for an afternoon after work. I can still cruise up here, get up here around 2, do that, be back on the road by 4:30 or 5. I mean, easy. I just heard a car door. So I see the yellow trail goes down there. You know what? For simplicity's sake, I'm gonna stick on the route so I don't get confused next week and miss something. Not that it matters all that much. I could take that shortcut instead of the yellow, because it's not really part of the blue trail I'm trying to finish. But yeah, see, the blue trail stays up there on the ridge, and then it goes over to the next ridge where the Quinnipiac Trail is. Am I zoomed in? Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, so you can see I would have been going up along there, and then up to that next, there's a gap, and then up to the next hill to meet the Quinnipiac, and then I was going to come back down. So I'll do that next time, next week. There's a car down there. So yeah, when I get to the bottom of this, then I just hang a right on this road, or this trail, white or red, I think it is. And that'll take me back to the lot a few miles back. I'll check in there because I don't want to film people in their cars. I just walked through a residential neighborhood. Well, not really neighborhood, down a road, past a few houses. And now I'm on the red trail, which basically, that's the ridge up there. I'm just paralleling the ridge line down at the street level here. There's a road over there that's parallel. This is more of a walking path or a bike path. Yeah, and it's probably just a few miles, 2 miles. I can't imagine with me having done the up and the down and the whole ridge walk and being at 4, that this part can be much more than 2. So I don't know, walking like this, should be back at the car in 45 minutes, and hopefully I'll hit my 1300, because I figure, yeah, this should be just around 6 miles. You know what? It would be a bummer if I was half a mile short. So if I get back to the car, I'll circle around the lake if I'm still short. I'm such a dork. I know that's not what it's about, but it's fun. Sometimes when, it's fun when you're by yourself to do like these geeky stat things too. At least for some of us. All right. Well, at least you can't see the road as well anymore. It's a nice forest over there. All right, I'm gonna just enjoy for a bit. To remember this one in a month or two. Just walk in a tiny bit from that road back there, about 2.2. It's mostly flat, and then you've just got Laurel Tunnel paradise. You know, the other reason I cut this a little shorter is I got a late start, so I didn't really get on that road until 11. Still trying to figure out where I was going. Had to walk the dogs and all that stuff. And then also because I don't know what time they close the gate. They might have reduced hours. I don't want to get back to that gate at 5 o'clock and find that they've locked it. You know, that would be bad because it's like I said, it's about a 45-minute drive up here, which isn't too bad. But that'd be an hour and a half for my wife or kids to come and get me, and then repeat tomorrow if I had to come back and pick it up somewhere. And don't want to think about it. So just erring on the caution, setting myself up for another nice hike next week. And, you know, I'll be kind of familiar at least with the territory. Nice little bench. Drip of rain. That was not in the forecast. But it's warm. It's like 60. Yeah, so I like what I chose because it gave me some views. Wasn't too difficult. There, gave me enough exercise. Nice Laurel tunnels with a kind of an easy second half to just wind down a little bit. And then leaving just enough for next week's hike to get some more views and finish this trail without having to hit the books and do the brain drain planning a hike. It's just fun. I like the logistics, but I don't always want to do that. You know, I don't always want to have to spend a bunch of time thinking. Sometimes I just want to go. But I always like having new stuff to hike, so hold on, I gotta get a picture of this. So if I want the variety, then, you know, I have to I do have to do the research. And it's a little more fun planning backpacking trips than day trips. Also because you can go a lot farther, so you don't have to worry about loops and things the same way. Wow, this is gorgeous. Well, this takes me back. There is not much avoiding this water, and you're not really supposed to widen the trail. All right, well, I do have different shoes back at the car. Splash, splash, splash. Now it's dry. Good thing about trail runners is they squish the water right out too. So there's there's the river there, and it goes through a culvert with a station, probably hydroelectric, and then this looks like a nursery. Some farms over here, and then up there, that's the ridge where I was up there. Somebody walking his dogs up here. Hopefully he won't continue past the gate like me. Just because there's not tons of space to get around once you're on the trail. But I'll manage. Yeah, so I was up there. Basically walked all the way up there and doing a big loop. Nice little hemlock forest here. Well, I should say what's left of it. just heard some kind of duck or something over there, but he wasn't. He's stopped making noise as soon as I pulled my phone out. A lot of different terrain and like little, micro, I don't want to say microclimates, but you know what I mean. Different ecological environments. Really makes me think like this was some kind of canal towpath, like on the AT in Harper's Ferry, and some other places I've been, of course, because this parallels this road the whole way. This ditch with this just wide enough to pull something. It was Great Falls where I saw another one like that in Virginia. That had slightly different details because it was like it had locks and everything. It was really cool. But yeah, this was definitely an old towpath. I know the maintainer here. I should ask him. But I hope you've enjoyed my little hike and discussion. I don't know how long this is going to end up being. Stick with me as long as you can. If you got this far, thank you. Just needed to walk and blow off some steam and think, and who knows what's going to happen. Hopefully in a month the scare will be over and people will be going back to life. I know it's been good for the environment, seeing all those maps of all the pollution, and the people who could see in India, who could see the Himalayas for the first time in 100 years, or something like that, 100 miles in the distance for the first time in maybe 50 years, I don't know, something like that. But it's significant, the impact that we have on this planet, so that's been good. Al Gore got his wish for a few months anyway. Hopefully there will be a paradigm shift and a change in how people live their lives, not a slave to the office. Hopefully being able to work from home has shown a lot of employers that they can trust their employees to do that and save money on space and gas and all these things that'll benefit the planet as well as the people. Hopefully it'll get rid of the greed and corruption in our government, and people will stand up and not take that anymore. And hopefully it will just make people nicer to each other. But I know there's a lot of fear and anxiety. I'm certainly feeling that, so it's going to take some time. But let's hope that we all come out of this better and stronger. And happier. This is actually a little section I helped the maintainer a few years ago clear invasives on. And then I got so busy with the AT stuff, I just did not get back to it because I was maintaining a different trail. But we should be back at the main lot in about a half a mile, I think. I should be just about 6 1/4 with this walk.